everybody, welcome back to Family Firearm Reviews. Today we're going to check out the Sar B6. Now this is their budget-ended clone of the CZ75. It's got a lot of great features and a lot of bang for your buck. As you can see, you actually do get 2 steel mags, a nice carrying case, a lock, and there's also a brush to clean out the firearm too. So with all of that, let's get right down into the numbers. So with our Sar B6, we're running a 4.5-inch barrel, an overall length of 8.1 inches. We're running an overall height of 5.5 inches. We've got a 1.1 width, so it is a pretty slim firearm. And we're running a 28.2 ounce weight unloaded. It is a 17+1 capacity, and it does come with 2 steel mags, which is nice. So you're gonna have a little bit of abuse when you drop these out on the range. It's gonna hold up for you very well. Now we do have a trigger pull in single action, as you can see we're already there, of 4.5 pounds. Now it is double single action, so as you can see here, you've got a lot of take up as you're cocking that hammer, and it's over 8 pounds when I was testing it on our trigger gauge there. So we can also check out the reset. So if you are shooting it and it resets, you have quite a bit of take up. I was checking out at the house. Right there's your tactical reset. You can hear it, then you get through a little bit of mush, and then you're right back on that wall. So as we do that take up, again, comes out. You can hear that tactile click. You can see there's a little bit of play where I've got to go back in. I hit that nice solid wall, and then again, bam, right on that trigger. So with that, we're going to get into the features of the firearm. So with the features on our B6, we do have just a set of rear slide serrations right here. Nothing on the front. The front is actually very smooth, so you're not going to be able to press check or anything like that. It's not optics ready or anything like that. Like I said, this is their budget line. This is the bottom of the line. If you look on the manual, you can actually see all the different models they have that are kind of on the same footprint, and they go up from there. They do have an all steel frame one. This one has a polymer lower and a steel slide upper. So as you can see, they did brand the front of the firearm there, Sar USA. It is a single double action firearm, and the trigger does feel pretty good. When I was dry firing it at the house, it was very comfortable. We have a set of nice 3-dot white sights on this firearm. Now, it is the internal rails, as you can see. So as you look, can't get her locked back. As you look, all the rails are going to be in there, so the slide is very low. So the rear serrations are kind of hard to grip sometimes. So when you are doing it, you got to make sure you do have a good grip on those rear serrations of the firearm. Now we do have a right-handed safety on this one. You can get decocker models, but this one does have the safety. So as you can see, there's a red dot that appears when it is ready to fire. It's in a good spot though. When I was messing around with this, you can see it's right there where my grip would be. It's not hard to take on and take off with that thumb. Keep my hands in a good firing position with this firearm. Another thing is the grips don't have a lot of texture on the side. So there's a little bit here that maybe if you had wet hands or something like that you would get, but a majority of the gun is very, very, very smooth. As you can see, a lot of the texture comes from the rear. There's kind of like the pyramid grip in the back and kind of pyramid grips in the front that are really kind of feels like that's what's going to secure it in my hand when I'm out there on the range today. It's got a lot of, you know, the Sar USA, the Sarzlemat, or however you say it on there. It's branded very well all over this firearm. The mag well is very generous, and it does have slight stripping cuts here on the bottom. You can see there's 2 little cutouts on the bottom of the firearm that we're able to strip those mags out if they were ever to get stuck. We do have a swappable mag release on this firearm, so it is set up right now for the right-handed person, but you can easily swap it to the other side. As you can see, the mags come out freely as we lean this to the front. They shoot out pretty good. Even if I put them up at a 45, they're going to pop out a little bit. Easy for us to get out of the firearm. Now with this, it does actually go and lock in with my CZ75 mags. So when we're out there on the range today, I'm going to test and see if it locks back. As you can see, these ones are just the +2, so these are actually 19 round mags. So they're going to have the +2 on there. They just have the extra base plate. That is what makes them a little bit longer. So it does take the CZ mags that I have. And as you can see right there, they fit right in, they lock in. They seem to lock the slide back when I do rack this. So we'll see if they function out on the range today. Another thing is they do fit with all of our compatible mag holsters, right? So we do have our Pitbull Tactical, wrong magazine. We do have our Pitbull Tactical, and they fit in there very easily. And then we just pick these ones up at a local sporting goods store. They just kind of have like the accordion style, but the mags fit in there. So if you have universal mag holders, they're going to work, and they're also going to work with your CZ75 mag holders. Now with that, I have a couple of the holsters. So this is actually a little bit thicker on the trigger guard region. right here than my CZ75. So the CZ75 holster that I have does not work due to the trigger guard being thicker. But I do have a CZ-P07 holster, and it actually fits in, clicks in very nice, comes out very easily. So I think I'm gonna try to run the CZ75 holster, or not the CZ75, the CZ-P07 holster out there today on the range and see how that works. But it does look right here like it's gonna be a great fit. It locks into the firearm and it's not gonna allow it to fall out of the holster. So we'll get that off of there and we'll talk about the links down below. So if you look down below, there are a couple different links that we have out there, and there's some shirts, there's our Patreon, there is a different link to our Reddit, things like that. So if you want to go ahead, check out those links down below. Check us out on Instagram. We throw some pictures up there. Some of them aren't gun related, some of them are holidays with the kids and things like that. But if you want to support us, go ahead and check that out. And I want to thank everybody that has liked, subscribed, and commented. I really like talking to everybody. We're getting going now. It's pretty cool to have conversations, maybe get some pointers, right? I am doing this. I'm kind of an amateur. I like shooting guns. I've been shooting guns for a long time. But this is me just giving you the average Joe review, nothing fancy, and I hope you like them. So with that, we're going to move right into the ammo. We do have some of our lax reloaded ammo, so we're going to gunk this thing up real good. We do know this is a little bit dirtier ammo. We're running 115 grain there. We do have some 124 Fiocchi, and we're going to run that through the firearm today. And then we're going to run my dreaded Winchester white box. I've had a lot of failures with the white box in a couple different firearms. Even when I run them in strings later or in other firearms, they don't tend to work. So we'll see if this budget gun can really go through any ammo today. Again, I think I got this for under $300 out the door at the local gun store. So it's a pretty budget-minded firearm, and I think it's going to be real fun out on the range today. So let's get to the important stuff and get out to the range. We're out here with our Sar B6. We've got our P07 holster. What's nice about this is you can leave it cocked and locked because one, we have a safety. When I holster it, I can also put my thumb on there and make sure I hold that hammer back when I am holstering this firearm. It does cover the whole trigger guard, so let's get out here and do our 3-shot accuracy test with this firearm. Three shots, pretty good. We'll get you a look at that target. Now it's Lauren's turn.
Hey guys, it's Lauren with Family Firearms, and I'm going to take my turn on this one. Excited to see how it goes. We're going to check those shots out.
We're out here and we are going to try our 124 Fiocchi, see how that runs across the spread. I do have the CZ75 mag in the firearm, so we're going to see if it functions with this. So maybe it's easier to find mags for this firearm. Locked back, ran with that CZ mag, so that's pretty nice. You'll be able to find some CZ75 mags that work with this CZ75 clone. So let's keep going. Man, this is a lot of fun. That beaver tail right here really gives you a good undercut on that firearm. You can really get a nice high grip, the way that grip's angled in. That was the rest of the 124. Now we're gonna move on to the reloads, but so far, I'm really impressed with this. Man, sub $300, definitely worth it. Now that we got our first 150 rounds through this Sar B6, let's get our final thoughts on these first shots. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the review. We're here to give our final thoughts on our first shots on the Sar USA B6, and I was really impressed. Accuracy was great. I think I did get this out of our local gun store for $298. That's with transfer, that's with tax, everything. So under $300. It's a very accurate gun. I'm pretty sure that it would probably compete with my CZ75. It's a little lighter, right, because it does have the polymer lower. It wasn't hard to rack at all when I was out there today. It racked very smooth, very easily. It has a safety. My CZ75 has the decocker model. I guess I just put the safety on your side. So there is a safety. It took a little bit for me to get used to. A lot of the firearms I use don't have safeties. The high beaver tail was something I didn't notice when I was initially looking over the gun, but you see that cut. You can really get a nice high purchase on this, really get a comfortable grip with this. You know, I think I hit mostly everything, a couple misses here and there, getting adjusted to a new firearm, but I really enjoyed shooting this out there on the range today, the fire range today, right? So I had a good time today. The grip, really didn't notice that it didn't have a lot of stippling. I had my gloves on for some shots, no gloves on for other shots, just so I could try it both ways. You have a nice trigger guard. You can see it's really big, but when you get your finger in there, it's actually pretty narrow to get in there. With this curved trigger, I can just barely fit my finger in there. And there is some take up there. And then when you do cock it, got the safety on, won't cock. It does pull that trigger back a substantial amount, as you can see the difference. So as I pull the trigger, right, and then if I cock the trigger, you can see how much more room you get in there, which is nice. So I could run this with the safety, keep it cocked and locked, put my thumb on that when I was holstering it today. Safety works great, and it gives you more room. So if you are carrying this, you know, with the hammer down, you are going to have a harder time getting your finger in there. It really shrinks up that, which is something I did notice today when I shot it in double action. What were your thoughts?
So for me, I had some reservations. It has the triple white sight, which I'm not a huge fan of. The lack of texture on that slide I thought I'd have issues with, and the lack of texturing on the grip of the gun I thought were all going to be negatives for me. I shot like a dream. I picked the sights right up. The thickness of the trigger guard I thought was going to bother me, but if you look, the trigger is actually thicker too. So normally if I'm like putting too much of the pad of my finger on the trigger, I'll get some turning there. And because of the width of that trigger, I didn't have any of those issues. I shot today with big, thick, bulky gloves on and still enjoyed accuracy. I'd say for anybody looking at maybe like, I really like my 380 right now, but if you're looking at a 9mm and you're not sure about where to start, this was amazing right off the bat.
Right, and it's a full-size firearm, right? It wouldn't really be for concealed carry. I'm sure if you're a larger person, you could conceal carry it. But to come out to the range in practice or home defense, I know it's missing that front pick rail, which I usually like for home defense, but I think this is a great trainer, great range tool. Again, you can get the SAR mags, which are these ones with the red followers, comes with the 17s, but it does take the CZ75 mags, and these are the SPO1 mags, so I had the +2. So there's lots of mag options out there, and they're metal, right? These ones are made by Metgar. It did fine with the reloads. It did fine with the 124s. We took $50 of the white box Winchester that I'm not a huge fan of right now, but it ate it all, had no issues. And even with these being small in the rear, Lauren was even able to grip them and rack the firearm even with the hammer down, right? So the one thing it is, you can't rack the slide when you have the safety on. So if you have the safety on, you can't rack the slide, put one in the chamber. You got to have the safety fully off. There's no magazine disconnect. I tried that out today. So if there's one in the chamber, you accidentally depress your mag in a stressful situation, you'll still be able to fire the one that is in the chamber. Lack of texture, really didn't notice. I couldn't press check. I mean, I could grab it a little bit, but it was harder as I went through the day, right? It's very slippy up there, no texture whatsoever there or across the top. I would like maybe some striations here to reduce glare. When it got sunny, it is a flat finish, but it does show up a little bright there. That's the only downside, I think, to this whole firearm. But for a budget firearm, I really think this is going to be a good one. We're definitely going to get a 500 round review in on this pretty quick. Something we're going to start doing. And I think this is definitely going to be a pretty nice firearm for us out there. So thanks for watching. Come check us out again, and we appreciate it.
Bye.
Thanks for watching our video. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. If you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel.
Comment below. We want to hear from you. Get more content from family firearm reviews by joining our Patreon and checking out the links in the description.